Hey all, it's Ingrid with Carrot Tootie, and I am so glad that you guys are here today. The first part of the video, I'm going to show how I made these tags using mainly scraps and then pre-made tags, which of course you can make your own tags if you'd like to. What happened that was now funny, not funny at the time, is I've actually taped this video 3 times, and that's why I have so many tags. With some of them, I was able to figure out that I wasn't taping before I made them. So that's kind of where I'm going to start here instead of duplicating all of them. I'm actually going to take these 3 tags and leave them because they were from the previous video that didn't go through. And I'm just going to show you how to do one of them because the principle is pretty much the same. It's just the colors that you want to add. Here I'm just taking some light blue regular craft paper and I'm applying a tiny bit at the end of an old hotel key card, and you can use an old credit card if you'd like as well. What I like about this method is you're just scraping the paint onto whatever surface you're working on, and it's great because it adds a lot of texture to the background, but it dries quickly, and I feel like it's a very fail-proof method, so give this one a try for sure. Now I have my 4 cards, and the first one that I'm going to do is the ruffled crepe paper, and I'm just taking some gold crepe paper and I'm just creasing it with my fingers, not even thinking about it. Don't think about it, just do it. And I'm going to smush it down, and I'm going to hold on 1 second. I'm going to go take it to the sewing machine and sew it up really quick. Okay, and now I'm back. I don't know what that glitch was. Sorry about that. And here I've cut out some shapes using my silhouette, and I saw someone else on Instagram do something similar, and it gave me the idea of using my little protectors for my pocket letter pals, and that's how I'm storing it. Here I'm just making my own little flare, and I bought these on Amazon a while back when I was doing my December daily, and I'm just taking one of my die cuts and putting it underneath the little clear things. They have adhesive on the backside, and so I'm just making sure that it's not going to come undone, and I'm adding more glue on the back, and I'm just holding it down to make sure that it adheres well. And that's it. And I think this one's actually, even on screen, one of my favorite tags that I made, and it was super simple to make. Next, I'm going to replicate this tag here, and it's just going to be adding some deli paper, which I bought. I'm going to guess it's at GFS. I'm not sure, but I think you can find it at most, either at Restaurant Depot, something like that, or maybe even Walmart. And I'm just taking a small sheet and I am just crinkling it up. Again, it's no rhyme or reason. I tend to think that when you work like that, it's better than my normal thing is to have perfection and be very methodical with it, and I end up not liking it as much. Deli paper is actually one of my favorite mediums to work with because it's very versatile and it adds really a nice interest to the page. The texture of it I just love, especially the side that's like the glassine. Here I'm taking one of the die cuts that I had cut out previously with my silhouette, and I'm just painting it with craft gold paint. And this I ran to, if you follow me on Instagram, I ran over to Hobby Lobby just to get this paint. I ended up getting some paper as well, but I've used it every single day, so it was great. I don't know what took me so long. So I did one coat, just quickly dried it, and then I'm going to put another coat of gold. Another thing I wanted to add is my die cuts. I have a lot of paper that I at one point loved, and now I look at and can't imagine how I liked it. And so what I do is sometimes I'll use that for my die cutting on my silhouette, especially something like this. Like this one has like a purpley color on the backside, so I'm not using the pattern paper, but I'm using it more for the white space instead. And I did those on purpose to be able to paint them whatever color I want. And there you can kind of see the purple. So now I'm just going to stack all the pieces, and I'm going to run over to my sewing machine and sew it up really quick. And there you go. Here's tag number 2 done. Now tag number 3 is going to be the tag that you see up at the top right hand corner, and so all I'm doing here is I grabbed a little wood veneer of a bird, and I'm doing the same thing that I did with the butterfly. I just painted it with the gold metallic paint, and I didn't show it on camera, but I actually put 2 coats on it, but it just depends on how thick you want it. Here I just took my tool and I was trying to dry it, and I thought it was funny that I could not seem to hold it down with anything, my fingers or the scissors, and I was laughing thinking, why can't I hold on to this? So I left it in the video. Anyways, here I'm just taking a piece of trim that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I am spraying it with Heidi Swapp's Teal Mist. And I had done one prior to this, and I had not cleaned the nozzle, and it came out really dark and blotchy. And so always remember on those mists, clean the nozzle. Don't be like me. So I'm almost done with the card here. I just took some, and that's some of the paper that I bought at Hobby Lobby that I was mentioning earlier. And I'm just going to cut a tag. And so what I did is I cut a slit down about the middle, and then I cut from the edges up, and that kind of gives me the middle, and it's a kind of foolproof way to get a flag. And here is just some words that I have printed up. I just did them on a Word document and printed them up, and I'm attaching that with some stitching, and I also attached some glue on the edge of it so it wouldn't go anywhere, as well as with the little bird, but you didn't see that on camera. Okay, so now one more small tag to go, and that's going to be, we're going to replicate that tag on the right, and that one's a very easy one. All I'm going to do is take this black and white striped paper, and I'm going to create a tag with it, and then I'm going to take some actually craft paper, and I am going to mist it with some silver metallic mist, and you can see there, I don't know if you how close you can see, but I didn't completely drench it, and so it actually came out with a really cool effect. It almost looks like metal, or like it's like very industrial. So I really like the way that that came out. Also, another tip, when you're drawing with your heat tool, sometimes your paper wants to buckle. Just turn it around and spray it from the backside, and it should buckle the other way. Now I'm just hole punching an inch round of this like gold paper, and I'm taking another one of the die cuts, and I'm just adding glue and just putting it down on top of that paper to give it some interest. And I'm going to assemble it at the sewing machine, but that's pretty much it, and that is going to be all for the last of the small tags, and now I just have the 2 large tags left. And here I finished it there. So now we are going to move on to these big tags, and they are actually recipe tags, but I have never used the recipe part of it. And I'm just using the paper, the packaging that it came in. It's not paper, it's plastic. And I'm adding a little bit of craft paint with just a little bit of that water, just to dilute it just a little bit. And I'm going to smush it up, and I'm going to add it onto the tag. If you have not tried this yet, I really urge you to try this. This, I think, is even more beautiful than the credit card one, and I just love the way that it comes out, and you can't replicate it ever. Every time that you make a card, it's going to be different, and I love that about it. You can see here, those are 2 separate cards, and they look completely different, but both beautiful. So now I took this like fish scale paper, and I'm just cutting, I think it's a maybe 2 or 3 inch circle out of it, and I'm going to take some of that aviator paper and you probably, if you saw my last video, I think it was my last video, the flip book that I did, that was the paper that I used, as well as this hot pink paper. And so what I'm going to do now is put some adhesive on the back of the airplane paper, and I'm going to glue it down to the hot pink paper, and I'm just going to cut around. And again, not giving it too much thought. I wanted it to look imperfect. It's okay if the circle is not perfect all the way around. I think that it gives it interest, especially since I already had a circle that is pretty much perfect all the way around. I am making another tag in the same way that I did earlier, and as you can see there, I'm not measuring anything. My lines are probably not straight, but I feel like it adds more character to the things that I'm working on. And that took me a long time to figure out because I'm not the best cutter. I don't know what happened to me in kindergarten, but I really can't even barely cut a straight line. And so it really bothered me every time I had to cut something that it wasn't perfect, and now I've let it go that it's actually nicer. All right, now we're working on the last tag, and I'm just making a feather. I am just freehand drawing a feather shape, and it's by no means perfect on the back, and I'm going inside the lines just in case, so that you don't see any of the marks. And I think I leave a couple marks, but it's not noticeable, and you won't be able to see it because it'll be stitched down, but just in case. So I'm just creasing it in the middle, and then I'm going to just add slits. And on some of the slits, I'm going to cut into the paper, removing just a sliver to give it an interest so it looks more like a real feather. And I'm going to do this on both sides now. And then I have to figure out what card. This is my third time doing this card, so I did not have any more. I think that was the Chamel line that I used prior in the last two, and I didn't have any more of those cards left, and so I had to improvise and use something else. And so I looked through my stash to see what I could find, and I finally found one that will work, and you'll see it in a minute. Now I'm taking some more, it's a different gold paint. It's more of a coppery tone, and I'm doing the same technique that I did with the pink. And another tip here is if you want it to be more translucent, then you're going to add more water. And if you want it to be thicker, you're going to add less water. And you're going to see here, this one I left thicker, and then I added more water to the end to make that translucent. And I really like the way that that turned out, and I wish I would have done that with the hot pink because I think it would have looked awesome. On this, because the top part of it was thicker, when I was drying it, it started bubbling, and you can kind of see a little bubble there forming, and then I'm going to smush it down, and then I'm going to smush another bubble to the right, but I really like the texture that it gave that, and so I probably will be doing that next time. And now that I'm looking at the lines, I think I got the names confused. I think this might be the Chamel, but I am not sure. I don't really pay that much attention to the paper lines. I know, sorry. At the bottom here, I am adding some washi tape, and it's a cute little like TP. And I thought it would be cute since I was doing a feather to keep that. And I'm just taking another cupcake liner, or this might be the first one I'm using actually. So I'm taking a cupcake liner, and I am just backing it. Again, it's kind of that glassine feel, and I just love the texture of it. And I just went to my sewing machine, sewed it down, as well as sewing the feather down. I'm doing a giveaway! Yay! I had said that once I got to 100 subs here on YouTube that I would do a giveaway, and so that's what I decided to do. And so the rules are going to be down below, but pretty much you're going to need to subscribe to me here on YouTube, give me a like on this video and a comment, and then you get an extra entry if you subscribe to me on Instagram, which I will post below. But what you will get is you're going to get 2 of each of these tags, which I made to coordinate the flip book that I had done in my last video, which is coming up here, and you will also be getting the flip book as well as some other goodies. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. I hope that you like the videos. I'm having a really great time making them, and it's really helped me creatively. So don't forget, subscribe, like, and hope to see you again soon, and good luck with the giveaway. Bye.